gonna laugh right now. That's all we can do right now.
Thank you guys for being patient. Mercury is fucking with us today.
Y'all don't even know. I can't even. Girl. Ooh, Chile Cassie. Oh my God. Welcome to the Zodiac chat line. It is Sunday, April the 16th, 2023. Y'all, Mercury shadow is already foxing with us. What? We're going to make it though, because we have each other and we're in Taurus season and I'm trying to be a little more calm. But still got that Aries season energy going.
Yeah, we've still got 4 days left. A lot can happen in 4 days.
So Cassie, how you doing? What's up? How's it going?
Doing pretty well. Mercury shadowy shadowness aside. Yeah, can't complain. How about yourself?
Same. I am quite interested to see all of the lovely things happening around us. Politically wise, sky wise, all the things. It has been quite interesting to see the attempts at legislating bodies try to use democracy as how they are making rules against certain groups or people. As in, we were talking about earlier, Missouri decides to change women's dress and require a certain attire for them to be on the House floor. They are shutting down libraries. But the biggest news, since we've had quite a few mass shootings recently, has been centered on Nashville and Tennessee, and that's House. And starting with the shooting that happened a couple weeks ago, I believe, where a person went into a Christian school and murdered 3 adults and 3 children, and then they themselves were unalived. 3, let me be real, 3 brave Democratic House representatives stood their ground: Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson. And the Tennessee House Speaker, Cameron Sexton, decided to expel these representatives. And oddly enough, only the 2 Black men, Justin Pearson and Justin Jones, were expelled. Gloria Johnson was somehow spared and censured a little bit because she is a white woman. But the people won because both of those men were reinstated to their jobs within the past week or so. And they are of the younger generation. Both of them are about 26, 27, something like that. They've been known to be activists their entire lives. So they are not new to this. They are true to this. And it is so beautiful to see these men speaking up so eloquently and challenging the bigoted ideas and racist views of those who are governing an entire state.
Yeah, all of that. It's incredible. And I think it's really wonderful to see Gen Z, and especially Gen Z people of color, in these political positions, because if you watched either Justin Jones or Justin Pearson, those guys are made for social media. They can just orate a 2-minute, 1 minute, 30-second, 50-second, like just massively powerful piece that will, and many of their speeches have, or portions of their speeches have, gone viral for good reason, because they are able to pack so many truth bombs in such a short period, because they grew up having to get their shit in under 1:30 for Instagram Reels or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're so good, and they're so fucking ahead of those old just redneck ass, deeply entrenched, deeply cynical people that have managed to control the House there by gerrymandering and taking away the people's power wherever and however they could. And, you know, it's really inspiring to see the reaction, to know that the Tennessee Democrats have raised a ton of money off of this, that they can turn into recruiting better candidates and doing things on the ground there and working locally. It's fantastic.
My best friend lives there, and she said for that protest to get those men back in office, they shut down one of the major roads in that city. And just goes to show you that your voice can be heard, even if people want to continue to silence you. And their voice was that the voice of the people, that they wanted stricter gun laws for their state. That is literally what they were lobbying for, is to really make their children safe, and the parents that are asking for this safety. It is no one, the parents are requesting this. It is not.
Mhm.
And are they asking too much? You know, like it just
Right.
it appears to, it feels like they are asking too much to keep their children safe. And I think we both feel with all of the astrology that a lot of this exposure is coming to light, as we've seen Clarence Thomas is getting exposed. And also the speaker leader Cameron Sexton is getting exposed. And so it's very interesting to watch that, while Pluto is now living his best life in Aquarius, being unpredictable and shaking some shit up.
And in addition to Tennessee, Nashville's mass shooting at the Covenant School, we had Louisville experience a live streamed mass shooting by another young person who had no business getting a machine, automatic weapon like the day before that happened. But also we have had in the past 4 weeks since we've been together, tornadoes, massive flooding, insane weather events all across the country. At least twice a week, I see a headline that's, 20 million to 100 million people in the US are under a severe weather threat. Like, it's crazy. Here where I live in Michigan, it's been 85 degrees this whole week. I remind you, it's April. Like, I don't know if you know much about Michigan, but we're usually not hitting 85-degree temps in mid-April. And tonight it's going to be 32, because that's super duper normal sauce to start the day at 76 and end it at 32. But like, there's no normal. There's no normal anymore.
No, just what is, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is wild to continue to see how much the earth is letting us know that she is tired, and that like the extreme weathers, like, this isn't supposed to be happening, even though we've made it our everyday. Like, I feel there are more plenty of people who joke about, oh yeah, the earth will be fine. And I'm like, I mean, you keep saying that, but I'm watching, I'm living it. You know what I mean? California is seeing rain like they've never seen, and snow in random places it shouldn't be. It's just almost like there's somebody up top just pushing a button, be like, what should the weather be like today?
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to it, other than we're just here to learn about it, I guess.
So speaking of things that have no rhyme or reason, we are here early for
Great
Taurus
segue.
season, because we have a shitload of astrology happening, not only this week, but throughout the entirety of Taurus season. So let's dive into that before we get too far astray. Break it down for us. Where do we start?
Okay, so we start the top of this season in the next couple of days, with a new moon in Aries again on the 20th. And it is a new moon solar eclipse in Aries. We also have the sun moving into Taurus on that day. We also have Mercury going retrograde in Taurus the following day. We also have Let's see what other, everything else is kind of where it is right now. Venus had just moved into Taurus, so we're still with that for right now. It just moved into Gemini a couple of days ago. So there is just a lot of movement going on, and in the one season that wants stability, it is going to be no thank you.
May 1st, Pluto retrogrades in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius is already shaking stuff up. And so we're going to get some backlash from the shaking. May 5th, full moon eclipse in Scorpio. May 7th, Venus moves into Cancer. That's kind of cute. I'll take that for Taurus season. May 14th, Mercury goes direct into Taurus, but really Mercury retrograde overshadows the entirety of Taurus season because you're still going to get that shadow period. And if you felt weird, you're a witchy person, you felt weird for the last week or two, it's because Mercury shadow has been messing with us. And I don't know. I won't speak for you today, but I came to the realization recently that I think that the reason the shadow period is so difficult for me and other people who are astrology minded is because we know that everything is going to start to go, like all the people around us are going to start to go haywire in Mercury retrograde. And we're like anticipating that. And that makes things more stressful. And then shit starts to happen to us. For me personally, during Mercury retrogrades, I tend to do okay because I'm aware that it's happening. And so I'm double checking everything. But in the shadow periods, I haven't gotten quite to that place. And I tend to get wonky. Anyway, so the 16th of May, Jupiter moves into Taurus. That's also cute. We'll take that. Although all of those Taurus placements are squaring against Pluto and Aquarius. So the challenge for Taurus season is that Pluto and Aquarius is very much saying, no, you don't get to be comfortable. You don't get to be comfortable this time around. We're going to shake things up. So
and that is a very, and both Taurus and Aquarius are fixed signs. And so both are going to have to learn how to compromise in some sort of way. Like something is going to have to give because Pluto doesn't really care what burns down. No. And Aquarius won't let you know what's going to burn down.
No.
And Taurus is like, I need to know exactly how this is going to stay the same. And it is basically what we've been, and we kind of talked about this, the other day, like how all of this Aries season so far is all this uncomfortableness. Like, what are we doing with this uncomfortableness? Because, most people like to live in their comfort. And how do we live in uncomfortable? Because the next, through this Taurus season, all of that will be taken away. Anything that we feel like should be one way isn't going to be. And the North Node is still in Taurus for right now until it moves. So there is just, like you said, a lot of energy in Taurus, but it's just that Pluto energy and it's retrograde. That square is going to determine a lot of, and squares, they're not bad. They're just extremely challenging. Nothing is like, I don't like to say anything's good or bad. It's just how much the challenge is going to rise. And that challenge is going to be difficult for everybody, especially the Aquarius and Tauruses, but everyone included, it's going to be quite difficult.
That's right. Yeah. I think all the fixed sign placements have been going through it anyway with the Aquarius, or with the eclipses, having been on the Taurus Scorpio axis for the past over a year. And now with this big Pluto and Aquarius energy, it is very, I think, extremely challenging for folks who are usually quite stable and set in their ways to be confronted with all the ways that the universe says no.
I encourage everyone that is watching or listening to remember what your new moon in Aries intentions were last month. Think about what you want them to be this month, but gear them towards how they're going to help you through Taurus season. Because what we are now finding is that all of these moons the new moons for all of these seasons are going to be at the end of the season rather than the beginning of the season. And that energy is very different to work with because it's already matured through that season. It's a lot easier to set intentions and start really new when you're in the beginning of a season and the freshness of it. But now we're going to have to navigate working towards the end of seasons and lessons that we've learned. And I believe that's a lot of the huge theme, is that we are all learning lessons. We are watching it play out on the world stage of lessons that we are needing to learn as a collective, really, and as our own individuals, because we are learning through the challenges of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like this second new moon in Aries that we're going to have on the 20th, and it's so confusing to have a new moon in one sign on the same day the sun moves into a different sign, same day, but it's just because a few hours earlier, and you're in a different sign, right?
That's the way the moon crests.
Right. The moon cycles are about 28 days and the sun cycles are 29 and a half. So every now and then that 28-day period falls right inside one of the 29 and a half day sun side periods. And that is what has happened in Aries season this year. But the second Aries new moon is like a redo. It is a but also because it's an eclipse, I would advise folks to be intentional about keeping your intentions loose and not making commitments, not turning your intentions into commitments. Like think that really an intention is something, an energy you carry with you. And the idea of putting something out that may take a while to come back to you. It's not, I am going to do this every single day. This is how it's going to be. Because frankly, with eclipses, that's not going to work. That's just not how it's going to play out. And like Tanae said, go back and look at the intentions you made the first Aries new moon and think, how can these intentions be reinterpreted for this challenging Taurus season that I'm coming into? How can I look at those intentions through the lens of where is this my comfort zone? How can I expand on the edges of it? And then, like, to your point, the next new moon we get, when Tauruses finally get their new moon, it's not until May 19th, damn near the very end of Taurus season. And we talked about this in our, meeting earlier this week. But, for me, part of how I'm going to be doing my new moon intentions when they come at the end of those seasons is kind of thinking about the cusp. What are the characteristics that Taurus season shares with Gemini season, or what's the bond there? How do you evolve from your material life and your comfortable life to your versatile social life, and really kind of trying to manipulate the lessons you've come through into what's to come. I frankly am uncomfortable with new moons at the end of season. So it's going to be a challenge for me in my comfort zone to work with them. But hey, it's how it's got to be. So,
and
we're doing it.
And that's where we are right now. We're between the Aries and Taurus. And that is both of those, it's a ram and a bull. Those are very powerful animals in themselves. And both of those signs tend to exert their will because they can. Regardless of who is around. And so, going from the fiery, very uninhibited Aries energy to the calmer, stabler, where can I find comfort energy of Taurus is a shift, because it's like we're going from quick energy to slow energy, quick energy back up to quick energy when we're talking about Gemini season. And honestly, we have two amazing guests that we are going to bring on. And they embody, we think, what Taurus season is about. So do you want to go ahead and introduce the first guest?
Sure. First guest is one of the most stylish people you'll ever meet. He is a barber extraordinaire, a mushroom growing, cooking, fantastic, comfortable living, just king. And one of my very, very, very best friends, Mr. Sean.
Hello,
Hello,
Sean.
hello.
Welcome.
I think I'm doing it right. I think I'm there.
You're
here.
there. You're
All
here.
right.
Our next guest is an amazing all-around soul, spirit, and being. The musical talents unmatched. Soundable, sound healing therapist. They are one of the best people I've met in years. One of my dear friends that I've been friends with. And I am so thankful that I've met them. They are in my life forever because, Tauruses never leave. And we love that for them. But thank you, Chelsea Shag, for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, what a sweet thing to say. I love you. I love you both. I love you all.
Yes, we love you. We're so happy to have you both here. Thank you for not being curled up in your bed already at this hour on a Sunday.
It is a
Both of
struggle.
you. This is such a full circle moment for us all, so we love to see it.
Right.
Yes.
So this season, just to give you guys a quick rundown, Sean is a Taurus sun, a Cancer moon, and a Cancer rising. Yes, comfort, money, love, and emotions are all him. And Chelsea is a Taurus sun, Aries moon, and Libra rising. We love all of the Venus energy and the spicy individuality that Aries moon brings to her. So today we're going to talk about comfort because we decided that that is the best word to describe Taurus season. And the definition that we have is comfort is to soothe in a time of affliction or distress, to ease physically or relieve. So I'm going to let Cassie shoot the first question to you guys.
All right. So we're gonna dive right in. We're gonna go deep. We got a lot of Taurus energy here. Let's just do it. Being as personal only as you want to be. What is afflicting or distressing you right now? And how are you able to be comforted through that?
Chelsea, you go first.
Rude. I'm just kidding.
See?
Again, only as personal as you want. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
know.
Okay, I'll be real.
We know and we love to see it.
Okay. So something that's afflicting me. I think God, I hate saying this out loud, but I think I should because I think it's important. I think I was feeling a little self-conscious in my body today, and I saw this picture taken of me and I just felt so ugly and so weird. It was so weird to see and be like, I feel ugly. And then when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, that's so silly. Like, what are you talking about? Just my soul just felt in a funk for a second. I was like, that's so silly. Like, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Interesting that getting a glimpse of yourself gave you a little bit of comfort from that initial moment, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think just you asked what brought me comfort after that.
Yeah.
Going on a run. I got down, I took off most of my clothing. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to show all of my skin and I'm going to show compassion for myself. And I'm going to go outside and feel the wind on my body and the sun on my skin and feel my body move and like feel the ground underneath my feet and feel that forward motion of going. And that felt amazing.
All of the physicality that a Taurus just described is exactly what she needed. Grounding, body, all of that. Thank you for sharing.
It.
Yeah.
I'll just go right after that because that's very close to the most recent, problem, I guess, that I had as well. Actually, yesterday. So I saw Tanae for lunch today, and I've been working on my body, and she complimented me, and that made me feel great. But yesterday was the first day in about 4 days that I had been to the gym. And like at the gym, I struggle because, like, you know, Cassie, I've never been big or anything, but I was scrawny, and like, you know, I've always had like a big head with my hairline's just fucked as I'm looking at it this in this Zoom chat. But yeah, like, and the gym is surrounded by mirrors, so you're forced to, you know, pick your flaws apart, which, you know, can be both good or bad. But anyways, at the gym, I was like, damn, I got a lot of work to do, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Come home, kind of like exhausted, not feeling myself. But then on to, you know, your topic of just like kind of feeling yourself and like fuck it. I texted John, I was like, I'm just walking around the house naked, you know, because like I was like, fuck it, you know it. I was just like, I am feeling good. I am looking good. Like, you know, you just got to be comforted by, you know, strides that you made and just living in the moment. Then, like, rather than, I mean, you guys know, like, I'm a very anxious person, and like I dwell on that stuff. So comfort, trying to hone in the exact moment, you know, and just be present, very, very grounded and leveled, you know.
Hell yeah.
But I feel you. I'm all about, you know, if you're feeling down, take off all your clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I listen, nothing like the freedom of a birthday suit.
That's it. For real. That's it.
Like, yes, you rocking that suit. Okay.
Damn, y'all.
Oh, what? Because we got deep already. I know. Listen, you already know me and Cassie ain't trying to do no surface level. I'm 8th house energy all day, so please give me the deepness. I think the one thing, like, I had to think about a couple of things, but the one thing is me trying to navigate working in an environment of being the only and trying to find my way to my purpose through still working in this situation. It is, I've had to just make myself work through the discomfort, because it is a regular discomfort, because I'm the only person that looks like me in an office of a very small group of people. And so that is probably the one thing. And the only thing that makes me comfort is I usually just share what's going on with my friends, and they very much give me like the energy to keep going, and knowing that this is everything is temporary, and this is temporary. But, and, you know, I'm kind of also, on a side note, on the body thing, I need to get some little bit toned to it, because after you're a certain age, it tends to stay on longer. But I think that's what's distressing me.
Thanks for sharing.
So mine is climate change. Guys, this is all I think about. I've read like 4, 5, 6, I don't know. I just keep getting more from the library, and it's really stressful. And I should have been more stressed for many more years about this, and that's also stressful to me about it. But I do find comfort in actually like working the land that I have available to me. Like, I was out all weekend weeding and prepping my flower beds, and I'm going to, you know, replant native plants there, and just actually like getting really familiar with the plants that are already there. And like, I have a fancy app on my phone where I can take a picture and it tells me what it is. And I love it. And it's like, oh, okay, this can stay. This is a native, you know, like Michigan plant. This one needs to go. This is an invasive species. And actually like touching dirt and doing nice Taurus season things is super helpful. And then like Sean, you said, really trying to live in the moment. And, you know, I have a lot of fears about what's going to happen in the future. And you see all these weather events happening all around us. And I think about my kids and think about like, what the fuck is the world even going to be like when they're my age? Will it even exist? But then I have to just be like in those moments that I'm hanging out with my kids, like really hanging out with them. And I tell myself all the time, like, this is the easiest it's ever going to be. Things are only getting harder. They're only getting harder on a macro level and in this micro level of my little home life, because my kids are going to get older and their problems are going to get bigger. So it's like really trying to enjoy those moments and not let them slip through my fingers in annoyance, anger, anxiety, or whatever else. So yeah. And it's climate change has been a pleasant distraction from my own body image issues. Like, I don't give a fuck if I'm fat. The world's on fire. On fire.
Yes.
Okay, so the next question is, are you a self-soother or do you look for comfort outside of yourself?
I'll go first.
Uh-huh.
I can go first. I when I read this question, I was like breaking it down, and I feel like even if people say they're a self-soother, like you can kind of take that in a few different ways and stuff, but I feel like I am a self-soother, but it's because I am very good with like, again, being in the moment now. And like, you know, I try not to get mad at things. Like I really will take things, like put them in my brain and break them down. I feel like being a self-soother, it can only come from inside. It's not going to be like, let me wrap this blanket around me, because technically that's still something on the outside. Getting in a bath is something on the outside. It's self-care, I think, is different in a little bit level than self-soothing. Self-soothing to me is more inner body sustainability. That's not really a thing, but you know what I'm trying to say. It comes from within, and I'm really good at dissecting things and like being like, is this worth my time, my energy, anything? And this is only like within the last 2 years, because yeah, it used to not be like that. But I would say I'm good at self-soothing from the inside. Like, you know, I'll call my partner John out. He can get flustered at times, and I'm like, it's, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Being chill, I feel like, is also being on that self-soothing side. But at the same time, yeah, I like to get in my hot tub and shit like that too, and self-heal from the comforts of the outside and stuff. And come home and, you know, after work and excuse me, lay on the couch and yeah, just be a Taurus and do what I do most, and open a bag of chips and just you know, be grumpy, and I love it.
Chelsea.
Amazing answer. Yeah, when I read this question, I was like, I almost read it as, do you know how to mother yourself in a way? And that's definitely taken time. I think maybe when I was younger, I would seek more outward, you know, reach and grab for some weed, reach and grab for some alcohol, reach and grab for a person, a lover. And now my self-soothing, even my self-talk is like adorable, I think.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yes.
I'm not a self-soother at all. I'm not at all. I'm a big fan of food as comfort. I've never lived alone. Like, I like having other people around me. My mom, you know, is still comfort on speed dial. Like, I have a thing on my back. What is it? You know, like, my partner, like Sean, when we were like, I'm really am not good at self-soothing. I don't think I'm good at self hyping and you know, self-distracting. Like I find it hard to comfort myself. I find it easy to distract myself and busy myself, which can sometimes get me away from the thing that's upsetting me, and maybe eventually will be enough to like forget about it. But it's not what I would say is proper soothing. So that's probably something I should work on. Because I, at a certain point you should, we all should be able to do that, just because not, like you said earlier today, like everything is temporary, and that includes those close bonds and, access to all the things you like, and, that's that.
Yeah.
I am probably the ultimate self-soother. First of all,
totally tracks.
The three of you don't need to be
Yeah.
calling me out on all of these.
It's like, yeah, we know this. All right.
Everybody in unison was like, yeah, this bitch don't ask for nobody's help. But I was raised in a single parent household, and I lost my single parent when I was 19. And so in that moment was the first moment that I really had to self-soothe, because I did not have any other support, and I never knew how to trust to get it from any other place but myself. Because, like, the one thing that is a guarantee is you can rely on yourself. You can try to rely on other people, but your own capabilities and how well you're able to navigate. And because I'm just determined to make shit happen and make myself okay, I am very much okay self-soothing. Now, does that look healthy? I don't know, but it definitely helps me in, like, I'm similar to Sean, where I'm like assessing and analyzing like what is happening in order to find myself, my own safe space within me, because I feel like that's the best place I can find comfort, is within myself, separate from self-love. But
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of like how we reach out for the oracle and tarot and our crystals,
Yeah, that's a good yes. So that's my next level. Yeah, some days I do just talk to the tarot, like, girl, tell me what's up.
What's going on?
Right, seriously. Please, anybody, just okay.
10 of Pentacles.
So I'll throw this one out there. What is your favorite way? And now you may have already answered this, the nudist crew here, but what's your favorite way to ease your body, your physical body? Forget your mental and emotional woes.
I love a hot shower. Love a shower. Yeah, just get in the shower. I get in the shower sometimes with my socks.
What?
Yeah, it's amazing.
What?
Why?
Amazing. Try it.
What is the sock? Does it add to?
It adds, because the bathroom, the tub is hard, and when you wear socks, it's just like soft and wet and
interesting.
I know. We're curious.
They do make like bath mats that are squishy, but I'm vibing the sock.
Yeah.
The sock game. Wet socks though aren't pleasurable generally, but I could see if they're constantly being warmed up by water, that it might be okay.
How do you get your feet clean?
Well, I take them off eventually.
Oh, okay.
They start out on, and then it's like the last thing you remove.
Yeah.
It's like a lotion sock, but
I was like, well, wait. Okay.
Like
a hot shower.
Let me know how you like it.
We're right. Taurus season trying. What you been doing, Mr. Long?
Like within the last 2 weeks, John bought me a foam roller. And if you're not in the foam rolling game yet, oh my God. Like even I just come home from work. I do just 20, 25 passes on it and crack all of my spine. And then, again, kind of, we just jump in the hot tub and melt. And it's great.
So I will be adding, I'll be coming to that hot tub. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
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 hot tub party. But
Mhm.
honestly, if you I'm serious, the foam roller is a great even like, PT exercise, just to like, it's great for your like blood flow and everything. And you can get them from Marshalls for like $9. Is that New Balance? Because mine looks just like that.
I don't know.
Love
It's
it.
Brandon's. I have to examine
Yeah,
it
I'm
closer.
telling you, just do a couple crunches on it. It's difficult at first to get like that flow going, but once you get it, it's great. And I swear by it completely. It's changed like my work life and everything. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you have an endorsement. Anybody want to give this man a commercial deal? He's here for
That's
the
right.
money. He gonna get
That's
a
right.
bag or 5. Mine is when I want to really splurge is going to get a foot massage. And
Shout out to Heavenly Foot.
that's exactly my man. You already know. That's where I go, because they give you the feet, the calves, the hot stones, the head, the neck, all
And
of
they'll blow
that.
out any neck on your t-shirt, because they go in like to your buttocks almost on that backside through the neck collar.
Maybe
It's
that was you.
crazy.
They didn't go that far. They don't know me. But that, and then I just bought one of those, like, it looks like an abacus, but it's not, one of those wooden foot massagers that kind of gives you some reflexology and stimulates the blood flow. I have flat feet, and I've just noticed like I need to really get that to feel more grounded, is to really get my feet kind of waking up and feeling better. And so I am all about a good foot massage. I feel like those, whatever they do down there, really wakes up the rest of the body, because we have to stand on something, right?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of foot. Like, I also have very flat feet, and this has led to very poor ankles and all that. So I have a whole litany of exercises and stretches that I know how to do for my feet now, and they're wonderful, and they're really helpful, and they do ease not only my feet and ankles, but the rest of my body. I'm a big fan of a walk. A nice long walk is one of my favorite things to do. It's for my mind and body. It helps both things. I also love getting in the water, whether it's the pool or the hot tub or the shower or the bath, like anytime. Even the ritual of washing my face in the morning and at night is very relaxing. And I use that time, especially at night, to kind of like say goodbye to all the emotions of the day. And I also love laying like a corpse, like in my bed on my back with my like hands like this, and just like saying a nice thank you to the universe for another day on a planet that's like still living, and that's nice. It helps. It feels good. And yeah.
May I add one more?
Yeah.
This helps me so much when I am feeling all types of ways, but I just put earplugs in and I just can hear myself, and I'm there. Like, it just feels so good.
Oh.
I
Hearing
always
yourself breathe.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one. What is your first memory of comfort?
I had to like use some brains that I didn't know I had. I'll just go first because it's gonna be a second. So I was like, let me try to like figure out, what does comfort mean to me? Blah blah blah. And then I was like, I don't really remember. But then I kind of remembered as a child, like going to the beach for the first time. But it wasn't the sensation of going to the beach. It was actually the humidity. And like the first, because again, I'm also from Michigan, granted, living in Atlanta now, which now I'm like, fuck humidity. But like the first time experiencing that like really warm, thick beach humidity, and it was like super early in the morning, and we were collecting shells and stuff like while the sun was rising. And I think, whenever we go to the beach, I still do the same thing. Like I'll wake up, John will be sleeping, and I'll leave the house at like 5 a.m. with my coffee just to go like experience that, quietness and with the ocean. But specifically, there's like a smell to that certain humidity that kind of doesn't like, bring me back, because that's not how that works, but it just makes me feel like, all right, we're cool, even though we're in Florida. You know, it's just like, we're fine. We won't pretend that we're here at the moment. But yeah, other than that, I would say I don't really have like the first moments of comfort besides that. But I was thinking about, just every time I was thinking of these moments, it was all just nostalgia. And then I was like, I think just like nostalgic things makes me, you know, comfortable. And like thinking about like even before Cassie and I had moved down to Atlanta, being cooped up in the room with like 8 of the homies at like 2 a.m. eating pizza. But something very specific was going on, and that was like just the vibe of the room, but nobody was, you know, stressed or anxious or anything. Everyone was, again, just like in that moment. And just thinking of like those times when I'm like stressed or anything, I'm not like, let's think about that. But just like, if I were to think about that, it's very calming. And it's like, yeah, you know, things could be worse.
That is true. Chelsea?
When I read the question, an image popped in my head right away of my yellow blankie. And it's not just an image of the blanket, but it takes my whole vision up. And it's like as if the blanket were right here in my face. And I still have that blankie, but like I have so many memories of just laying that blankie on a big open space on the carpeted living room floor in front of the TV and just laying like a starfish on it, you know. My blankie, man, my fucking blankie.
Shout out to Blanky.
Oh, I love
my blankie.
I didn't like prepare. I didn't think about this one before the show, but like listening to you guys, listening to the question again and listening to your guys' responses, I think of a couple of things. And the biggest one I think for me, and now it tracks thinking about my present day self. So when I was a kid, I don't really know when it started. It had to have been around age 8 or 9. I had really bad obsessive compulsive disorder. And of course, I didn't know that's what it was. I just thought I was insane because like who else is worrying about their house getting broken into and someone kidnapping them and force feeding them heroin, and the way that they have to cure that is to wash their hands 45 times. Like it just doesn't make sense. The math doesn't math when you're living through it, you know. But I opened up to my mom about it, and she was so receptive and respectful, and like it turns out my mom also has severe anxiety, right? So she knew, she could track like the patterns my brain was making and was able to give me responses and feedback that like worked within those constructs, you know, and made me feel not only better, like actually like, oh, okay, maybe I am worrying too much about this, but also made me feel less crazy, which was what I was ultimately worried that I was. And that was incredible. You know, that's like something it takes people a long time to break through with therapists for. And I was just in retrospect, really blessed to have her be there and be a sounding board. And I must have been so fucking annoying because I was always worried about everything all the time as a kid. But the other thing, and Chelsea, yours made me think of it, is my bugger, my glowworm butterfly that I had as a kid. And I would always like put its stocking cap like under my nose and like just on my face, and I loved it. And my kids still play with it. It was out on my couch today. It's like 30, 8 years old or whatever, but yeah.
So I cannot remember distinctive memories of like the first memory of comfort, but I know that it had to do with my mom. But as you guys were talking, the other memory of comfort was when I was cuddling with my dog, Teddy, who y'all know is no longer. She brought me so much comfort and so many, that was like The best level of comfort I think I remember is cuddling with my dog Teddy. And then along the lines of Blanky and Caterpillar, I still have a teddy bear that my mom gave me when I was a child. So that is well over 40 years old. It is in great condition, by the way. I think, you know, those stuffed animals or like really those smells or things that we've had that we can keep on, like that brings like such a deep psychological comfort, you know?
Absolutely. What's the last question, Tanae? What's the final
I know
question for the panel? I'm gonna let you pick.
All right, it's gonna be this one. The last time you were uncomfortable, how did you manage?
Let me think of the last time I was uncomfortable, because I'm just that bitch now. I don't get uncomfortable anymore.
Well, that might be an answer too.
Yeah. Chelsea, you can go first.
Okay. It was so cringy.
Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be good.
God, it was a restaurant thing. I was with a group of people and the order was something, you know, they come out with the plates, like, who has this? And everyone's like, oh, what? And I don't know. This isn't the right food. And people are getting pissed off. And I'm just sitting there like, this is so awkward. Oh my God. So I think I just said that and I just let it happen. And I sat back and just watched them do their thing. And you know, had some cheese dip.
Right. When in doubt.
Right. Eat. When in doubt, get some cheese dip.
So it's always worked for me. Always, every time. I can jump in, Sean, if you're still prepping your response here. So I had an incident, I guess. A couple of incidents with someone in a position senior to me at my job mispronouncing my name. And this happened on 2 meetings where other people said my name the way it is pronounced. And this person continued to call me Casey. So finally, the second to last meeting I was in with this man, because let's be real. Of course it was. I actually stopped the call and was like, hey, just wanted to let you know it's Cassie, not Casey, like classy, but without the L. And I laughed and he proceeded to call me Casey again within 30 seconds of this happening. I was furious, absolutely furious. I just was like shut down for the rest of the call. So then I had a meeting, a smaller meeting with the same guy recently. And I was like, my fucking nemesis. If this guy does this again, what the fuck am I going to do? You know? So we're the first 2 people on the call. We're actually on video. And he's like, hey, Casey, how's it going? I was like, Steven, it's actually, oh shit. I'm sorry.
Drag him.
He's okay. He's been downgraded to person of interest. I was like, it's actually Cassie. And he, to his credit, immediately, like, his expression changed. He's like, oh my God, I thought it was Casey. I'm like, I know you did. It's Cassie though. I was like, you know, and I kind of made a joke. That's my tendency, you know, in an uncomfortable situation, is to make a joke. I did make a note to myself not to apologize, and I didn't. I just said, you can call me Cassandra if you want, but I will think you're getting me in trouble if you do that. Like, that's fine. That's my full name. And he kind of laughed. He apologized to me, and he spent the rest of the call pronouncing my name the correct way. So he's been downgraded to person of interest from work nemesis. But it was, the thing that really messed me up was the first time I called it out, it was really hard. It was hard for me to stand up for myself in that moment with like a lot of people on a call. And then for that disrespect to continue, it was the first time in my professional life that something like that has happened. And, you know, not to toot my own horn, but they fucking love me at my job, and I kick ass at my job. I'm very good at what I do, and they have every intention of just pushing me as far up as the ladder I'm willing to go, you know? And it was really fucked up to be disrespected like that. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. It was, I felt good about how I handled it, but it was very uncomfortable. And it forced me to stand up for myself in a way that is not what I would call a comfortable feeling for me. But like you said, sometimes you got to be that bitch.
Is that just still your response, Sean, or you got a new one?
I was sitting here like listening and also trying to think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like lucky, or you know, I mean, although okay, everyone's experienced this like probably pretty often actually. When you don't know if we're shaking hands or pounding or you know dapping or whatever, you know, everyone's been there. And in my job, every client, you know, 16, 17 times a day, this happens. And so now instead of those painfully awkward moments, if we do it, I'm just eye contact and like, we're going to do that over again. And you just got to call it out. You just got to call it out and be like, listen, no one appreciated that. Like, let's fix this. And that's about it. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty chill right now. I'm blessed compared to Casey and restaurant fiascos, I think. Lay it on us tonight. What do you got?
Okay, I gotta be like Cassie, I gotta be real how I say this because you know we got jobs and shit. Similar to Cassie, not exactly. I have had people mispronounce my name multiple times, as y'all all know, and I immediately correct them, especially in a professional environment. Like, I don't even let them finish their thought. I'm like, that's not my name. But that is not, sometimes things are said uncomfortably, like, you know, there's kind of some banter prior to certain meetings and like things are said, and I immediately will call people out in front of everyone. Because some of those comments are usually directed towards me, and I think the people think they're being funny, and it's just like unnecessary to even note it. You know, I'll give an example. I was on a Zoom and I had a hoodie on, and I had done this to my face, either to sneeze, cough, or just to hide my facial expressions because I can't. And a comment was made like, oh, what are you gonna do, rob a bank? And and my response was, did you say that because I was Black? And everybody goes, and I'm like, no, you don't get to say something like that to me and then me just go not. And that's where I've just gotten comfortable with being like, you have to know what you're saying is offensive, whether you think it is or not. And I'm no longer going to be quiet because I don't want to be perceived as the angry Black woman. And that's a lot of times where I feel like I've gotten shamed. And I told Sean this earlier, was that I wish that when we had worked together, I had stood up to that guy that was our general manager. In the ways that he was very intentional on making sure I was uncomfortable. And I kind of just allowed it. And I wish I had been as vocal as I am now. Now they really don't. They're like, oh, you know. So I have found comfort in standing up for myself in uncomfortable situations wholeheartedly. So we have loved speaking to you, amazing beings and souls. We are wishing you the best, most amazing Taurus season and solar returns for each of you individually. Oddly enough, y'all, one's a May Taurus, one's an April Taurus, beginning and the end, but they encompass all. So if either of you would like to let the world know how, if they want to get in contact with you, use your services, follow you, send you crushing DMs, I don't know, whatever it is. It's, you know how you Tauruses are. People love you. Take it away. Whoever wants to go first.
Chelsea, you're more important than I am. You go first.
First of all, do you hear this?
What?
You made that sound. I heard that.
I heard
Do you
it
have
when
a
you
visitor?
first
You don't
unmuted.
hear that sound? Is
Yes, I did. I just heard it now, and I heard it when you first unmuted. It's quite quiet, but
I have
I did catch
no
it.
idea where it's coming from. It just
Oh,
started
I hear it
out of
now. I
nowhere.
hear it now.
Yeah.
Do you have
no
a
idea.
do you have a friend with
Zodiac
you in
chat
there? A
line just
spirit?
turned to a ghost hunt.
I was about to say to you, do you have a visitor?
This is
Where
a
you can
legit.
find-
This is a legit horror movie right now.
Yeah. Somebody, please.
I don't know what it is. It feels so loud in here. It's so weird. Okay. So I'll just plug myself up, I guess. Okay. So yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Songs by Chelsea Shag. I'm a musician. I write songs, I produce, and I also do sound baths. And I'm just a silly little Willy. And if you want to hang out and go to the park, let's go. I'm gonna
She's
mute
also
myself now.
conjuring sounds, possibly.
Yes.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yes.
This is really
yes.
weirding me out. So, all right.
Hell yeah. I don't really social media, but that's cool. I cut hair at Trophy Room Barbershop, and you can come see me there, and I will cut your hair. And happy birthday, Chelsea!
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday.
Sean.
Thank you.
I feel like every week we have two guests. One is
Uh-oh.
She laughed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was really excited to see what she was gonna say.
She'll hop back on here in a second. I'm not really sure what every week we have two guests. I'm pretty sure she's gonna say one who has like a platform and all the things, and the other guest who's like, I'm just here. Being on the show. But
That's
Cassie
me.
is coming back to life.
that's exactly what I was gonna say, Tanae. One guest is there to promote, the other guest says, don't find me. Sorry about that. Mercury shadow fucking with us. Technical
all day. I don't
difficulties.
even think y'all know. All day, even to get these two guests here was on Sean's behalf. I just want y'all to know.
Oh, thank
Well,
you guys.
thank
Get
you
your
guys
hair
so
cut, get a
much.
sound bath. If you're in Atlanta,
Please. Both of them are highly talented and very well crafted in their respective disciplines. And yeah, they're just amazing people, and we are both so thankful and blessed to have known them, introduced to them, and have them in our lives forever and ever. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Cassie and I are going to talk to the people about some more stuff, and we'll see you guys later.
love you so much. Thank you.
love you guys.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you.
You take care now. Bye.
Love Taurus season love fest. That's what we do. Oh, love it. Sorry about that.
Listen. No, it's fine, because literally this has been this is how Mercury Retrograde Taurus is gonna be. That's all that we need to know. And I love that we're just rolling with the punches and being like, whatevs, because there's nothing we can do about it but roll with the punches, right?
That's right.
So speaking of rolling with the punches, we got this eclipse coming up, right?
Yes, we do. Mhm.
So just for the greater purpose, eclipses happen when one heavenly body shadows another heavenly body, and it's usually the moon eclipsing a sun. And when that happens, I know sometimes if you guys have followed astrology, you have seen people talk about it to where it goes completely dark. And it actually happens during the daylight. I believe a couple of years ago, we had one where they made those pinhole ones, and you could actually see the eclipse without burning your eyes out, because you shouldn't look at it with the naked eye. We know somebody did that. But anyway, the eclipses, for that purpose, like that's what it looks like. But for me, for astrological purposes, eclipses are there to eclipse and remove things out of your life that no longer serve a purpose. And usually it is there's a catalyst or an event that you are trying to go one way, and the universe will show you something immediately and go, this is not the direction you should be going in. And it's either let go or be dragged. And in eclipse season, if they show you something, believe them the first time, because it will be removed or you will be removed from the situation. And it's for your highest good in the long run, but eclipses are not the most they are probably the least comfortable when the eclipses happen out of your life, whether it be a people or a situation, jobs, anything. Eclipses are powerful times of manifestation, so be careful what you wish for.
That's real. And if you find at this new, this Aries new moon eclipse that something new is suddenly getting ushered into your life, don't be surprised if it leaves just as quickly, because that is the nature of eclipse season. And it is very tricky energy to work with. And I myself, I'm so many Cancer placements. I have deep connection to and respect for the moon. I don't fucks with eclipses. Usually I find the energy too volatile myself personally to work with in a magical way. So I try to ease up. And like, for example, I'm already kind of thinking about what my intentions are going to be for this new moon. And I'm trying to center them around ways of being really realistic about the time and energy that I have. Right. So like I went back and looked at my Aries new moon intentions, and they were big and they were grand. And, and that's great for Aries season. But for this redo, it's like, how can I bite off manageable chunks? It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Slow and steady.
What can I do on an everyday basis that's going to ensure that I'm able to be in this work and in this life for the long haul? So,
and I highly recommend not making drastic decisions, like relationship decisions are usually really tricky during eclipse season, especially because we're in kind of a close to Mercury shadow, Mercury going retrograde. Just things seem to be a little bit murkier. And so like allow time and patience for clarity to come through with this eclipse season. And I need to go back and check I can't exactly remember what they were, but I'm sure with yours, they were a little grand. And, Aries falls in my 10th house. So it was a lot to do with career. So I'm quite interested to see how I'm going to navigate that, trying to move forward in smaller pieces. But, I think it's nothing to fear, just something to be aware of,
Absolutely. Quick Taurus season celebrity check-in. We gotta love the Tauruses.
And Cassie and I love this first one. She, has created a movement for body positivity. And for everybody that tries to come for her, have all the seats, please. She created Yiddy shapewear for larger figured women. She won a couple of smooth little Grammys. We love Melissa, aka Lizzo. Also won an Emmy for her one time for the Big Girls show on Amazon Prime, looking for dancers. Lizzo has been a Taurus, has given us the music. She is a flautist. She is a businesswoman, entrepreneur. She promotes so much love and body positivity to everybody, not just that. She is like, if I can't feel it in a positive way, I'm not trying to put it out there. And I respect that more than anything, because people will put out any kind of music in any old kind of way just to hear themselves sing.
It's true. So I was in a music league about astrology. And so for Taurus season, I picked Coconut Oil by Lizzo, and someone left a comment. Lizzo is one of those Tauruses where you can tell that's what she is by every single song she sings. And that's so true. It's just, there is so much love, beauty, comfort, and earthiness, but not in a Tauruses can get a bad rap for being like quote unquote materialistic. I don't necessarily, it's not that they can't be, of course they can, but they're more concerned with like materials as building blocks. You know what I mean? And just like she's incredible. I fucking love Lizzo. She's just being
Everything.
her in the public eye gives me hope. You know, just seeing her in the public eye gives me hope, and her being herself in the public eye is an incredible feat, because this society that we live in loves to shit on a black woman, a big black woman, black woman that stands in her power, like so many things, a musical artist that doesn't fit neatly into one genre,
at all.
You know what I mean? Like so many ways where her just existing is breaking barriers and breaking down these false categories that we love to just have, you know, and box people into. And it's great. I fucking love her. Buy some Yiddy, buy her music, buy a concert ticket, just give her your money.
Just keep giving Lizzo love.
Yeah.
Okay, who you got?
I'm gonna check in with legend, fucking queen of our lives, Tanae's hopefully future wife, Janet Jackson, who is like, I've loved her since I was a kid, 25, 30 years, you know, she's incredible. I get to go see her for the first time soon. I'm so excited. She's touring with Virgo King, Ludacris. That's a great combo. But yeah, she's, you know, had twins in her 50s. Bless her. It wouldn't be me, but she's got, you know.
Well, she has one kid. She had one little boy.
Oh, I thought she had twins.
She had one little boy. She had one little boy with her ex-husband. But still in her 50s.
Yeah.
But I've got to thinking all of those years of dancing, that body was in shape and ready to hold on to the baby. And blessed, the Lord said, "This is for you, my dear, my child." She has, her career has spanned just her. She has, even though there has been problematic people around her, problematic situations, she has remained so like unproblematic and has been just as cool as she could be through it on the outside. I'm sure on the inside it was, you know, complete not the same, but like Janet is just, I love her energy. I love the songs. I love what she aspires. I love how she just roots for all of her friends. Her and Missy Elliott are BFFs, which I freaking love. Because who doesn't love Missy Elliott? Shout out Cancer Queen.
The terrorists.
Nobody asked about them.
People.
Nobody asked about them. But yes, we listen. We are a Janet Jackson stan. Janet, even if you don't want to marry me, I would just want to nuzzle in your bosom for like a whole day, whatever. So if you see this, holla. It's all for you. Okay. Sorry. That's like, before I knew Janet was one of the reasons I knew. Just saying.
There you go.
You know, the next person I'm gonna check in with is Kehlani, because this lovely queen has gone through so much. And there was a couple weeks I had ran into some people and we were kind of just talking about her, and they told me like things that had happened in her past with an ex, and like how it got her close to like unaliving her. I mean, like there was lots of things that she went through, and I was like, girl, good on you for standing strong, for coming out. She's a fabulous mother. And you know, she's that lesbian icon that all the lesbians love, and have watched her love life. She's currently dating I think it's not the assistant coach, but she might be a student team coach for the University of, I believe, Connecticut. Kiara is her girlfriend. And so it's just lovely to see an artist be able to be themselves and evolve. And again, in the music industry, she's fully tatted, and everyone, you know, she's an R&B singer. Everyone kind of made her into this feminine, like what she was supposed to be, and she just decided to kind of take that off. And her last album was for the fans. It wasn't for anybody else. It wasn't for a record label. And so I respect and commend her, and watching her just kind of really grow into a lot of self-love. And transform. So
yeah, she's another one who, and it's interesting. I think Chelsea, our guests tonight, Chelsea and Sean, are very much that way too. That's tracking as a Taurus thing, where comfortable being somebody who doesn't fit neatly into a single box. And I won't say, I think it seems like Kehlani has evolved into a place where she is now comfortable with it, but it's sort of an interesting case study in what it takes to get there, because she actually was in the public eye ostensibly as a straight woman, at the start of her career. And to listen to her talk about, I mean, that was a journey that she had to undertake within herself and then publicly. Yes. Maybe she didn't have to publicly, but she did.
It's the way, yeah.
And she made a brave choice, and did, I think, what most Tauruses ultimately do, and they just say, fuck it, I'm going to be me. And it takes some of them longer to get there and some of them not so long. But ultimately, a Taurus is not the one that's going to play around with who they are and have a different face. They're not a Gemini. They're not going to have a different personality for every group. They're going to be them, and it's very hard. And she talked about, I heard her in an interview talk about it being very hard to not be herself, and that's classic
so much.
Taurus.
It feels like so much more work to just
and for what?
Not for other people's approval that doesn't even really matter, because it's like, if you can't even look in the mirror and approve of yourself, why does other people's approval even like fit on your radar? And especially for her being in the public eye, and I think it's easy for people to be a little bit more relaxed for women to be queer than it is for men, but it's just all the same. She has definitely transformed into not what everybody thought she was supposed to be. And I love it for her. And I think that her daughter had a lot to do with that. For her, she had to be her best self so she could be her best mom to her child. And not just like, man, we rocks with you, girl. If you ever want to be on the show, hit us up. Any of y'all.
Come on, we'll talk about it.
Right. Who's your last one? We love this girl. Give it to her. Let us know.
My last Taurus celebrity we're going to check in is Mother Earth. Hello. Guys, the Earth is very clearly a Taurus. Okay. She loves beautiful things. She loves nature. She is earthy. She's literally Earth. Okay. And she's in trouble. And a Taurus is going to do what a Taurus has to do. A Taurus is going to do what a Taurus has to do to survive. And she's not playing with us. The bull is not the one to mess with. Okay. It's Earth Day this week coming up, the 22nd. If you have a chance to do something nice for the Earth, I highly suggest you do. And, maybe make that a habit going forward as much as you can, in whatever small way you can, because small things add up to big things. That's another thing that Tauruses are very well aware of. Small steps, incremental habits, incremental change. I think Taurus and Capricorn the most out of all of the earth signs, but that's very much an earth sign quality, are aware that you can build something great by doing just a little bit at a time and continuing to do that over a long period. And I think that we have the chance as humans to do a little bit over the next 20, 50, 100 years every day. And as people and as, eventually corporations and all of these things. And that, there's a chance that this beautiful Taurus goddess won't just throw us all off her fucking body. There's a chance. There's a chance she will. Okay. So, Mother Earth, we salute you.
All I'm saying is that we got a little glimpse during those moments of COVID when we all had to sit the fuck down, and she was like, and replenish some things. Then we decided, we've been sitting down too long. Let's come back with a vengeance. So, Mother Earth, we here at the Zodiac Chat Line love and support you, and we are going to continue to fight for you. So, we got a question. The question is, how do I navigate these upcoming eclipse season?
Well,
I like the word navigate because I
mm,
think that's going to be the key.
yep.
I think that compassion for yourselves and others, and realizing that we're all experiencing some sort of drastic change and shift, and allowing it to be okay. Going back to what I said earlier, it's temporary, possibly necessary, but just allowing yourself to observe and act in that way, and not necessarily force your way, because the universe is not going to always agree with that and or mind you over and over how that we are just on this entire vast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, we talked about that earlier, and I would encourage anyone of any sign, but certainly our Tauruses, our Aries friends too, and our other fixed signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo, to slow down and just have grace and compassion for yourself. Don't beat yourself up if things don't go the way you plan them to right away. It's eclipses have a way of giving you what you need, and it just may not feel like it at the time. So trust that it's going to play out the way that it's meant to.
I have always found that in the moment it stings, but I realize how I was saved later on. And it was literally for the best. And sometimes eclipses are forcing you to see a reality that you're refusing to see, and it makes the decision for you. It's like, either you're going to go ahead and it's going to show you signs, because the things that come up at the eclipse is not something that you're not aware of. It's just something that you haven't allowed yourself to be fully into the awareness of. It's there, and you're like, I got it. And the universe is like, okay, player, I'm gonna show you what got it means. And then all of a sudden you're like, but I had it, but you didn't. You were dragging your feet, and just, you needed the Band-Aid ripped off. And I think that we are living in a state where we need some reality checks more frequently than not. A lot of people do. And as much as I don't want them, I appreciate the gift that it tends to bring at the end. So you guys, just be patient with yourselves and others, during eclipse season. I mean, to me, that's the best way, and navigating it, and asking questions more than assuming, and getting good clarity, especially because this eclipse is going to happen right before Mercury goes retrograde. And so just take your time for some clarity. I think Taurus season is going to be muddy, and I don't think Gemini season's actually going to be any clearer, but
listen more than you talk if you can, just take it all in.
So, but before we get to the tarot, I do want to thank everybody that joins us on these lovely YouTube lives. I love that our new format. I hope you guys are enjoying it. But I did want to give a special shout out and a dedication of this show of Taurus season to the one Taurus that you all should be thanking, because I'm here. And that is my mom, Anna Michelle Gamble. She has passed away at this about 25 odd years ago. But she was the first Taurus that taught me about myself, about how to be a kind and loving and caring human being. And so, Mom, I know you're watching. You know what I mean? And I am so thankful that you are my mom and that you helped me come in this world. And I hope I continue to make you proud. So
Oh,
that
we
is,
know, we know you do. I
that's my
love Anna
dedication.
Michelle.
Right. I know, right? And that's your mama name. Isn't that crazy?
I know it is. Except it's not because we're
listen, right. Knew exactly. We're here. Like Cassie and I are definitely sisters from another mister.
as
but
was
with that-
evidenced by when I left and I returned to you saying the words I was literally going to speak. So it's fine.
When you're magic, you're magic. So in honor of Taurus season, I have pulled one of my absolute favorite decks. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And for anybody that is a green thumb, a witchy bitchy, whatever you are, I highly recommend these. These are really, really good. This is the Herbcrafter's Tarot. And what is amazing and unique about this deck is that all of the cards are represented by different plants in nature and plants or spices or herbs or anything like that. And all of them have very much healing properties. And it's just amazing. This is laid out like a regular tarot deck with all of the different elements being represented. So you have your fire, your water, and your air and your earth elements, all of the symbols, all of the rankings. Such a beautiful, and the artwork. Listen, that's really my true obsession with tarot cards. I don't really tell you, but it is the artwork. It's the messages are cute, but when you see the artwork, it goes beyond. So we're going to pull one and we'll see what it says. I'm going to read from the book because the book has a fantastic explanation of what is going on. Ooh, and we all know it always happens. Interesting. Today's herb is valerian. It is the 8 of Cups. Let's see, how can I get that? Oh, there we go. So it is valerian, which as you can see, I love this depiction because in the normal tarot, the 8 of Cups is walking away from something that is no longer emotionally satisfying because you are leading yourself into your 9th cup. So this is valerian. The message is to seek the depths of rest. Sleep is the best meditation. Relax, recover, recuperate. An oceanside room glows with soft light. A bouquet lies on a nightstand near a warm pot of valerian root tea. Delicate star-shaped flowers fall to the floor. Steam rises to meet the moonbeams on the water. The full moon shines through a small window, illuminating the mountains below or beyond. Exhaustion makes the simplest things feel insurmountable. You may be overextended or weary. Do you need to step away from commitments? Invite time for retreat. Like the calming energy of this sanctuary, pull back from it all, but be still and recuperate. Valerian is a valuable tea for those who struggle to rest and relax. If a lack of control over the situation has led to constant anxiety, invite sleep and consult the dream time. Valerian is a pungent medicine. Slowing down may not be a pleasant experience at first, but it is the only way to become strong again.
Who needed that besides me? That hit. That really did. That's check and check.
So the last notes on here is they give you like crafting tips with certain flower or certain herbs. Crafting with the 8 of water. Drink valerian tea for deep, restful sleep. Carry valerian root in a magic vial to settle anxiety. Create time for personal retreat. Even a staycation can be rejuvenating. How is it that just before Taurus season, we talk about getting relaxed and resting? And let me tell you, a Taurus can sleep and nap with the best of them, girl. But but so can some Cancer energy, because I love a good nap now. As an adult, I love a good nap before I sleep. Okay. But I think it's important to note that right before we're going to hit all of this very tumultuous astrology and energy and the Earth's energy and all of the things we're witnessing in our government, it is really a good time to make sure that you are relaxed and recuperating and ready to go when you're supposed to be ready to go. And now might not be that time. I think that just hit on all kinds of levels, don't you?
Mm-hmm. That was, yeah. That's the message. That's the message right there. You can't get anything done without enough sleep.
And that's on all the Z's.
Mm-hmm.
Thank y'all so much, everybody that came to the chat and watched us. Chelsea and Sean, we love you both. You mean so much to both of us. Special place in our hearts. This is such a beautiful full circle moment. And we thank you for joining us for Taurus season. Again, as Cassie said, Earth Day is coming up. Get outside, get in nature, get your hands in dirt. Buy a flower, plant a tree, donate, do something. Clean up your own little patio, just even a little sweeping, but really get one with the earth and starting connecting, and connect with yourselves. Find comfort wherever you can in these trying times. But we are always here to add to that for you. So thank you guys so much. Cassie, I could never do this without you. I never would. We are synonymous forever in this.
We doing this.
We doing this.
I love you.
Thank you. I love you guys. As always, this has been the Zodiac Chat Line. It is all love, and we out here because what? Peace.